It's time once again for That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly. That Business Show gives a voice to Tampa Bay's entrepreneurial community and highlights our community leaders, aiming to inspire and educate our listeners. Become a part of the entrepreneurial movement today by becoming a member of the Tampa Bay Business Owners and get your brand on air today. Visit TampaBayRadio.com for more information. All shows available on demand. Now, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelly.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. Each and every morning, we hear from Tampa Bay area business owners, entrepreneurs, community leaders about what they're doing in the community to make a difference, and also how they started their businesses and some of the struggles, successes, and sometimes some of the failures that they've had in their businesses, hopefully to inspire you to step outside of the box and do something that you want to do in your business, whether it's starting a business or joining or starting an organization. That's what this show is all about each and every morning. Joined in studio, Kelly Wilson as co-host, owner of Edge Business Magazine and Edge Business Community. Kelly, good morning to you.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday.
Thank you.
How are you today?
I am doing quite well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Actually, feeling good. 2 months now or so of non-smoking, and I've been working out now and running like 5.5 miles or jogging each night. So
that's impressive. I can't run 5 miles, and I don't even smoke. I haven't smoked in 10 years, so I can't imagine running even a quarter mile.
Great.
So congratulations.
Yeah,
on that.
That's that good pain that you start to feel. So I feel great. But so how was your night? You had an evening event that you attended last night. How was that?
A nice event with the Ryan Issa Foundation over at the Gray Salt Restaurant at the new Hard Rock at the Hard Rock Casino, the new restaurant over there. I tell you, that place has really expanded over there. It's getting quite large over there. So, but yeah, it was a good event. Nice evening of light food and drinks, and yeah, it was very
for a great cause.
For a great cause, the Ryan Issa Foundation and stuff. So yes, we had a good evening. So let's go ahead and bring in our guest for this segment. We're going to be talking about the increase in workers' comp in this first segment with David Syracusa. He is the owner of Syracusa Staffing and Leasing. And you can learn more about him at his website, which is ssandlnow.com. So, David, welcome to the program today.
Well, thank you very much. Good morning, Kelly. Good morning, Jamie.
So, before we start with this discussion about what's going on with workers' comp, just tell us a little bit about your background with your company and the services that you offer.
Okay, great. Well, I appreciate that very much. We are a PEO broker. PEOs are basically a way for companies to get workers' comp and payroll together and a more inexpensive model at times as opposed to going through the standard market. We work with a lot of property and casualty agents. That's the main group that we work with. And they come to us a lot of the times, believe it or not, when they can't get comp written for a company in the standard market. They have to turn to us. We're kind of their option of last resort instead of having to go to the state, which nobody wants to go to the state.
Okay. Do you also offer staffing, leasing, payroll services on top of that? So that's rounds out some of the services of your company. Now I want to focus the discussion on the workers' comp increase. Tell us what business owners out there need to be aware of. What's going on right now?
Oh, it's about to get ugly. I hate to bring the bad news to the morning radio wave.
That's scary.
It is. Here's the thing. It's kind of interesting, actually, when you go back and look at it. I'm about 7-8 years in the business myself, a little bit more than that maybe. And during my time in the industry, it's been wonderful. The market in Florida has been incredible for workers' comp. We've got a great competitive market here. The issue is, though, you go back before that to 2003. So going back a good 13, 14 years, we were the worst market in the nation. Tops in the nation for being the worst.
What do you mean by worse? Was it because the rates are the highest, because of fraud? What do you mean by the worst?
Okay, good question, and it's definitely all about the rates. I mean, what drives everything for people, and that's cost. And basically what was happening back then was and I hate to throw a particular group under the bus, it's not all about them, but the trial attorneys were killing the state with the fees. And we were just looking at horrendous rates. Carriers were fleeing the state left and right. We had practically nobody left. And basically in 2003, they said, hey, we've got to reform this. We've got to do something about it. And give the state credit. They did an amazing job. They came in, they made some reforms, and you just look at the numbers over the years from 03 to about 010. we went from the highest cost in the nation down to the 40th. It was amazing. Unfortunately, that trend is starting to change now. So
first off, who is required to have workers' comp in the state of Florida? How many employees?
I was just going to ask that.
Like mine, son.
There you go. Well, actually, for the most part, pretty much everyone is required. It's one employee if you're in construction, and you would not believe what the state of Florida considers to be construction. The craziest codes will fall under there. The craziest types of risks out there will fall under construction. But if you're not in construction, then it's 4 or more employees. It is required by law to have workers' comp.
So 4 or more, is that right?
Correct.
And if those are W-2 employees, so if you have independent contractors, then you wouldn't have to necessarily have the workers' comp. Is that correct?
Very good. I like that point. Now, here's the interesting thing, though, is you better make certain that they're really independent contractors. That is something that people get in trouble for all the time.
Yeah, we've had that discussion a number of times.
Yes, do not make that mistake. Just because you say they're 1099, they're subcontract, does not mean they are definitely subcontractors.
Now, in the contracting world, a lot of contractors sub out to work, and I assume it's to avoid strictly the workers' comp that they're trying to avoid paying. I don't know how contractors start businesses, with the worker comp premiums that are on them. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Well, it's tough, but again, Jamie, going back to the fact that I just said, and you know what, this never helps when you say comp rates are at the lowest that they've been in 15 years, 20 years. All the business owner hears is, I have to pay what right now? Who cares what it was? In 03, that's great. We're 50% lower than what we were then. Who cares? What do I have to pay right now?
What is causing the increase?
Well, it's some court cases, unfortunately, and the attorneys are getting back involved. So some of those reforms from 03 and 09 are being rolled back now. And that's the danger is, if we do roll back some of those reforms, it could start to get ugly. And everyone says, oh, okay, well, rates are really low. They've got to go up again. And the carriers need more money, or they're not going to get their premium. That's all well and good. But it's not the carriers getting the money right now. It's going to the attorneys. And there's been specifically 2 or 3 court cases recently that have said it's unconstitutional that the attorneys cannot charge more. They need to be allowed to do it. Well, what's going to happen is the carriers are going to start fleeing the states again. And as we know from our free market history lessons, if you don't have enough companies, they can start raising the rates.
And it's the same whether it's health insurance, whether it's insurance for your home. Anytime that it's monopolized in a sense, then it goes crazy.
Now, workers'
in a bad
comp
way.
is also wrought with fraud issues. To what degree is fraud also playing a role in workers' comp increases?
Well, honestly, again, that goes back a little bit to those reforms. The state really did. It's hard to emphasize enough the job that the state did. I'll tell you one of the best ways to emphasize this. You go back to 03, they had a decrease of 14% in 03 to the rates. In 2004, they said, okay, we're good, 0% increase or decrease. Then 05, minus 5%, 06, minus 13%, 07, minus 15%, 08, minus 18%, 09, minus 18%. They just did an amazing job of removing a lot of the fraud that you're talking about. They removed a lot of the excess fees. Now, if you're a trial attorney, I guess you'll say it wasn't excess, but
of course not.
The state just did an incredible job. So my fear here is that we let those reforms be rolled back. I don't think anybody's necessarily listening to me, whether they're going to be doing that or not, but it's going to be important. You're going to see a lot of groups fighting these court cases that are coming out. And here's the scary thing. Because they won these couple of court cases right now recently, get ready, because there's going to be a lot more court cases. The blood is in the water, if you will, now, and they're going to start circling, and they're going to say, what else can we roll back of those reforms? Because let's face it, the trial attorneys are saying, hey, I can get paid more if we are able to overturn some of this stuff.
Well, the trial attorneys have staff too, don't they? Doesn't everything that they do ultimately come back to affect them, I would think?
Maybe they're subbing those guys
Maybe
out.
they just try to make so much money they're compensating for their hikes and workers' comp also.
So we're looking at a 14.5% rate increase as of it's went into effect on December 1st, correct?
That is correct. So, yeah, a lot of business owners woke up on December 1 under those new rates, whether they saw them or not. A lot of the times rate hikes can kind of sneak under the radar and people aren't aware of it. It creeps up, but 14.5%, it's a good hike.
How has it impacted your business as a PEO broker? What are you hearing? Are you hearing some people saying, I can't afford this, I got to, make some cuts, I got to go out of business? What are you hearing from the community?
Well, so far, fortunately, it has been pretty negligible. Again, I don't know that everybody's really noticed the hit yet. It takes a little while for people to notice in their
because
reports.
For people, it comes around different times of the year, the annual audit that they do or whatever, right?
It does, and it's different for if you're in leasing, like what we do, or if you're a standalone policy. So yes, the screams of pain will start. They have started, and they will continue. But fortunately, so far, not too bad. We see a couple of more years of hikes like this, though. And it's going to turn into a howling scream very, very quickly.
Yeah, well, it's only the 13th of December, so they haven't had too much of a chance for it to really set in yet. So it's just a matter of time.
Oh, so to the business owners that are out there listening, tell them how you can help them, with regard to workers' comp, your PEO broker, tell us, how you can help them.
Well, one of the amazing things is I know the rates are first and foremost on everyone's mind, but I'll go back to what you touched on earlier about the 1099s. I mean, there are some big law changes coming down right now. The Department of Labor has just made some changes, some impacts to people's salary and what you can do for overtime, things like that. The biggest thing I would say is if you are trying to pay attention to this as a business owner, why do people not want W-2 employees? Who can keep track of all this stuff? It's not just the rate hikes. It's also all of the laws that you have to pay attention to. It is a difficult situation that a business owner is in today when they are trying to manage W-2 employees. And the PEOs do an amazing job of taking that HR off of the business owner's shoulders and helping with that.
Good discussion. Currently talking to David Siracusa, owner of Siracusa Staffing and Leasing, about the increase in workers' comp that just went into effect on December 1st, a 14.5% increase. So if you need some assistance with your workers' comp, definitely reach out to him. You can get in touch with him. Phone number 844-377-2635. That's extension 801. Again, 844-377-2635, extension 801. And visit ssandlnow.com. Stay tuned. We got another segment with him. We're going to talk about the new Department of Labor overtime rule and also their involvement in the community when we get back. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
If you've been following That Business Show on Facebook and Twitter, you may have noticed the quality of some of our images. That's because one of our sponsors is pro photographer Rick Taseda, a member of the Professional Photographers of America. You can view his extensive work by going to his website at ricktaseda.com or call him for an appointment to chat about your photography needs at 813-641-4757. That's 813-641-4757. 4757. Rick Taseda Visuals. Call him for your next event or project.
Savvy business owners utilize technology to connect with customers, communicate among teams, and collaborate with partners. Even with advances in technology, you all know it's not infallible. Where do you turn when your technology starts working against you? Who do you depend on to keep your team productive? Don't wait until your technology fails you. Get ahead of the crisis and contact the professionals at Alpha Computing Solutions so they can show you how to keep your technology running smoothly. Visit them online at www.alphacomputing.com. Who
doesn't have a smartphone these days? And of course, there's an app for everything. Well, almost everything. That's why the folks at Popcorn Apps started developing mobile applications. They saw people like you with genius ideas, unable to make those thoughts a reality. They develop applications for tens of thousands of dollars less than you'll find anywhere else, and will turn your idea into a reality in a matter of just a few months. Think you're not ready? Think again. They are your one-stop shop for mobile application development. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn. Or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today. Did you know the biggest challenge business leaders face today is creating an engaged and productive workforce culture? Bill Meyer Ham Consulting wants to help you solve this challenge. They will help you transform your workforce culture to produce amazing business results. Call Bill Meyer Ham Consulting at 941-201-4650 today or visit BillMeyerHam.com. That's BillMeyerHam.com. Have a conversation.
I knew Mom wanted to stay at home. It's the center of her family, her life. But helping Mom stay in her home while managing mine was just too much. Honestly, it wasn't just about me. Mom didn't want me to be her caretaker. She wanted me to be her daughter. I felt so alone until I found out about Home Instead Senior Care. When we met the people at Home Instead, we just knew they were different. The experience was personal. And most importantly, for Mom and me, I get to be her daughter again.
Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
At Vein 911, we will help you feel great again. Do you have restless legs, night leg cramps, or ankle swelling? Restless legs, cramping, swelling, and tired heavy legs are often symptoms of hidden vein disease. You do not have to have visible bulging veins to have the symptoms of vein disease. The vein care specialists at Vein 911 are uniquely qualified to evaluate and treat your veins. Are you unhappy with your previous vein treatment? Vein 911 succeeds where others fail. Call Vein 911 today at 855-VEIN-911. That's 855-834-6911 to book your free consultation. Vein 911. We will help you feel great again.
From the RP Funding Traffic Network.
Good morning. Leave extra time this morning as dense fog around the area causing delays on the interstates, including westbound I-4 from 301 to downtown Tampa. Big problem remains in Manatee County north and southbound I-75 closed between University Parkway and State Road 70. You'll have to use US 301, Lockwood Ridge, Lakewood Ranch as your alternate. See traffic problems. Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uterick Hillsborough. Traffic tip line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Unbound. There's a girl in El Salvador who dreams of becoming an engineer. There's an elder in Uganda who dreams of having a community to call his own. No two dreams are the same. Help one person achieve theirs at unbound.org. That's unbound.org.
Today, dense fog early, then mostly sunny with a high 81. Tonight, patchy fog, low 65. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 79.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Missed the show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelly.
And welcome back to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. Talking to David Syracusa, owner of Syracusa Staffing and Leasing, and learn more at that website, ssandlnow.com. And David, you know, we're talking in the last segment about just the importance of using a PEO broker such as yourselves, because there's so much out there that, you know, business owners don't fully understand. You know, just as I mentioned going into the break, the new Department of Labor overtime rule and what all that entails. There's just so much out there that business owners don't know.
Oh, it's crazy. It really is. The fact that they basically doubled that from around 23,000 to over 47,000 for the salary. So, you know, you've got a lot of people that were basically being run around, told there's no overtime for you, and now we're looking at millions of people that are going to be changed in that respect. 4.2 million people currently exempt employees from overtime. That's a huge change. And what I was saying before the break is, how do you keep track of that all? And the good thing is you don't have to. That's what a PEO, employee leasing, will do for you.
Thank you for clarifying that, because you talk about what business owners don't know. PEO, I kept trying to do the yeah. Thank you for that clarifying.
PEO, it's professional employer organization, and really most people in Florida know it as employee leasing. Half the businesses in Florida get their workers' comp through employee leasing. So among business owners, it's a very well-known concept. It's used quite a lot. And as I said, we primarily work with property and casualty agents. They're typically the ones telling their clients, hey, we don't have a solution for you, but employee leasing, that is the way to go. You've got to get together with them, and you've got to go that route.
Let's talk a little bit about your community involvement. You're involved with a few charities, so tell us what you're involved with.
We are very proud of our charitable work. We work with a lot of great charities. As you mentioned, the ARC Tampa Bay Foundation is a charity that we're very involved with. We've done a couple of things. We actually started an event for them, Wings, Wheels, and Wine. I always get the W's wrong there, but I got it right that time.
Wings, Wheels, and Wine.
Wings, Wheels, and Wine. It sounds like fun, right? The Clearwater Air Park. We're going to be doing that one again this year.
It's on June 10th. Yeah, see that? Yeah, okay.
Yep, June 10th. And we also do the omelet party with them. We were the presenting sponsor for the golf tournament. Two big ones that we have coming up right now, January 7th. I personally hate running in a straight line for any long distances, but for those people who just love the agony, the Salvation Army Kettle Crush, a great organization. Saturday, January 7th, you can go out. You can run as long as your heart desires for a good cause. And then the RCS Blue Jean Ball. RCS is familiar to a lot of people. They do a lot of great things in the community, and they have the Blue Jean Ball every year. I haven't been back for quite a while, and actually this time we get to be the presenting sponsor for their event on February 25th. They always hold it at some amazing residence. The homes are beautiful.
And RCS is what? What does that stand for?
I knew you were going to ask me that. I know them as RCS. That's how I know them.
I don't know that either.
What cause? What do they do?
They do everything. They take care of the poor people in Pinellas, Pasco, Hillsborough. They do amazing things with helping people with food, with shelter, with programs. They're an amazing
great organization.
Amazing organization.
And Blue Jean Ball, I take it you show up in blue jeans?
You do, but you would not believe the fabulous blue jeans that they go out there with, and I found out the hard way. My wife took me to Buckle. I don't know, maybe you know that store.
I've heard of it in the mall. I've seen it as I walk by. I've not shopped there.
There you go. Well, they have jeans that nobody should pay that much for those jeans, but you go out to the Blue Jean Ball, and it's a lot of fun. It's a beautiful home. Great food, great drink, and just wonderful people out there. Again, all for a really good cause. So proud to be the sponsor for that for this year.
Yeah, we'll have to look up more information about it. They all sound like great organizations to be involved with.
They definitely are. And Maton de Truitt is another one. This is really cool. This girl started this when she was in grade school. She is a teenager. She's from I'm going to get this wrong, Mombasa, Kenya, and she found a way using the products that are indigenous to Kenya to create a water filtration system. And it started out as her grade school science fair program, and now it's become her charity. So
wow, cool. So many years later. That's amazing.
Yep. Well, very cool. Well, it's always good to hear from a business owner that also gives back to the community. And so David Syracusa, owner of Syracusa Staffing and Leasing, we appreciate what you're doing for your community and for the business owners out there. So thank you so much. Good discussion
Thank you for being
today.
here.
Thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it, Jamie.
Absolutely. And again, he is a PEO broker and involved in staffing and leasing and workers' comp. And so if you could use his services, give him a call, 844-377-2635, extension 801. 844-377-2635, extension 801, or visit ssandlnow.com. You've been listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
I feel guilty that I can't always be there when Mom feels stuck at home. She was always there for us. But now she can't get out, and I'm not always available to take her places. Someone else needs to help her get around. Then I learned about Home Instead. Now Mom can do what she enjoys because her personal caregiver is there, and I can just be a daughter again.
Are you struggling to care for your loved one? We can help. Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Have to use US 301, Lockwood Ridge, Lakewood Ranch as your alternate. See traffic problems, call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uterick Hillsborough. Traffic tip line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique, but you are not alone. MAD is here to help. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org. That's MADD.org.
1250 winds weather center forecast. Look for some morning fog once again, similar to yesterday, eventually turning into partly sunny skies. Low 80s for the high, mid 60s for the low. Chance of rain tomorrow, small, a little more cloudy, upper 70s. Then look for those mid 70s to close the week out Thursday, Friday. Impact Radio 1250 winds, WHNZ.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Missed the show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelly.
And welcome to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. We're here Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., live on Tampa Bay's 1250 Winds WHNZ. And we make the show available all across social media, including a number of different podcasting sites now on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. Also, we have a high-definition videos uploaded to YouTube over at youtube.com/Jamie Maloney. And if you're wondering how to get onto the program, please visit tbsinterview.com. Over there, all the FAQs that you may have regarding the program are listed there. And again, good bit of information on our listenership and how to use the material. Not only do you get to come onto the radio and get some leads from time to time, but you also get video and audio and photography to reuse over and over again on your website or your social media or however that you see fit. So again, visit tbsinterview.com for more information on that. Time to bring in our next guest here for the segment. We got Chris Meyer, Director of Client Services with Unbehagen Advisors, a returning guest to the program and TBBO member. So we thank him for his membership inside the Tampa Bay Business Owners. So Chris, welcome into the program today.
Good morning.
So tell us, a little bit background and overview of what Unbehagen Advisors is.
Well, Unbehagen Advisors is your small business CFO. We take care of all your accounting, taxes, insurance, and we also provide investments through our underwriter for Alencon, which is J.W. Cole.
Okay, what's the history of the company? We had you and Todd and Joseph and the other gentleman in here the one day. We had Conan. There we go. Conan in here the whole day. We had a whole gang in here one day talking about Unbehagen. Tell us a little bit more about the background of the company.
Well, Todd Unbehagen is a second-generation owner. His father started the business about 27 years ago. Todd's been running it for about 16, 17 years, and it has grown. It has evolved. Beginning just as a pageant franchise for straight accounting. Todd brought in Conan, who is also an enrolled agent. A lot of people say, what is an enrolled agent? Or you'll hear the term EA. There's three people that can represent you to the IRS: an attorney, a CPA, and an enrolled agent, of which the enrolled agent is one certified by the IRS. And enrolled agents kind of think that they kept to a higher standard when it comes to taxes. So
is that one of the things that you all do, dealing with people that have tax issues then? So you are a certified company. What category you fall under? Enrolled agent? Was that
enrolled agents, yes.
Okay.
We have 2 enrolled agents. There's a lot of CPA firms that are lucky to have 1.
Let's talk about that, the back tax issue, because we've not had that discussion too often on the program. When people are unable to pay their taxes, and it happens to business owners a lot, what's the first thing they should do? I mean, some people just panic and they don't file, and they just and I've seen people go for years and years without paying, and like the IRS on you, they're like, no, they have no issue, and it's until you file, then it kind of sets off the firestorm from what I've heard. But what do you do in those situations?
Actually, the worst thing you can do is nothing. It's that situation where a lot of people they get that paralysis from analysis. They sit there and they look at it and they look at it and they just can't pull the trigger and get things going. And that's when it's best to have a professional come in and help you out. We've had individuals who did their taxes before, and all of a sudden they didn't like their CPA, or they weren't in good communications with them. We had one where the CPA didn't file their extension form, which is something we automatically do. If you're a client of ours and we don't hear from you for a while, we're assuming that there's some other issues. We're going to go ahead and file that extension for you just to make sure that you're covered. And we do that automatically. Even though there is a charge to it, it's not a charge to our client, because we know that we have to keep
Okay, so I mean, definitely file. You don't want to just, I can't pay, so I'm not going to file, because then you get, penalties and even more trouble.
And you're talking about penalties. A lot of people don't realize that not filing is only part of it. If you're not whole with the IRS by January 15th, and that's one of the magic numbers. They're all 15. January 15th, March 15th, April 15th, all these 15ths are all the magic numbers. January 15th, you're supposed to be whole with the IRS, which means you, if you're going to owe, you have to have it paid. You have your quarterlies, so your quarterlies have to be up to date by that time. And if you can file later on, that's fine, but you got to remember that if you file later, or if you don't file, you start to get those penalties and interest, and the interest can just build up and kill you, because they set the rates for the interest. It's not competitive. You can't go to the open market and find the bank with the best interest. The IRS says this is it.
So if you can't pay, what do? You call them up and say, can you put me on some payment plan, or what will they do for you?
There are plans. We don't recommend it. Again, the IRS sets their own rates for interest and everything, and your best bet is to find a way to get whole with them by the 15th on your own terms, which means
going to a bank or something and asking for a loan?
A traditional lender, or even a non-traditional lender, will probably be less. Plus, the penalties can also hurt you, as well as the interest rate, and that's right off.
What type of interest rate does the IRS set? Is there like a set rate that they give?
It's subprime.
Yeah, it's not subprime, right? It is. It's considerably higher. I mean, when you consider that you can probably go to a bank and even a non-traditional lender and get 4 and 5%, you're doing a lot better than you are with the IRS. So the best thing to do is tax planning, and that is the most critical thing. Come to somebody like Unbehagen Advisors, which we're a flat-rated system when it comes to taxes. Through your tax planning, we figure out what you're going to need, we price it out, and then we match your level of engagement, which means quarterly. We want you to come at least quarterly so we can talk and see where you're at. We don't want you to have that panic at the end of the year. If you're an accounting customer with us, a full-time accounting customer, come tax time, we just call you up and say, oh, by the way, have you had anything weird happen? No? Okay. So that...
Otherwise, we have everything ready for you.
Yeah.
That's great.
That big inventory thing you purchased wasn't a car for your wife on the surprise. That type of thing, we got to make sure it doesn't happen. But other than that, we're pretty much saying, okay, your taxes are done. We've done all your accounting throughout the year, and we're all finished. So it's that planning. Engage with us. We'll engage with you. It's and we don't nickel and dime it. We get you ready so that you don't have to have that big scare at the end of the year.
There's so much to know as a business owner through the year, and so many things to keep track with. And even like when we were talking earlier in regards to workers' comp or health insurance benefits or taxes, it doesn't matter. There's so much to know that I think it's so important to have professionals on your side that can inform you of penalties and the 15th dates that you need to remember.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot.
And what we try to do is there's three parts of a business. There's marketing, operations, and administrative. We try to take that administrative part out of the equation, let you concentrate on your dream, on your entrepreneurship, which is the marketing and the operations. Make the business happen. The marketing and operations, they bring money in. Administration helps you keep the money. So let us
It helps you
with our
sign it out.
Yeah, well, you have to pay your bills too, but we want to help you keep as much as you can.
Well, and you mentioned a one-time fee. So how are you paid then? Because you mentioned something earlier. I didn't catch it completely.
If we do your full-time accounting, it's just a monthly accounting fee. You
Okay.
call us, and we do it on a very simplistic model because we work with businesses from 1 to 30 customers.
Okay.
And that 1 to 30 niche is usually individuals, small businesses that don't want to spend a whole lot of time. They can't afford a full-time accountant or a full-time bookkeeper. So we make it easy. 15, 20 minutes a month, you give us the information that we need to do what we can do for you, and we turn it around for you.
Now, what is your background, your role in the company? You're Director of Client Services. Do you come from an accounting background? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am a 27-year retiree from Verizon Corporate Finance. I did everything from started at a call center back in Highway 301 down in Brandon, and worked my way through the accounting. Then I became the finance liaison to IT because I could speak both accounting and IT. So when you can speak both languages, you kind of give yourself that little extra boost in your career. So 27 years later, I decided to retire, come back to Tampa because for the last 5 years I was up in Atlanta. And I used to do a lot of pro bono work for small businesses, just trying to help them get up and running, give them business advice. I tried to give them a big business look in a small business flavor. And so Unbehagen Advisors has let me do the same thing here. So I do a lot more than just help with accounting and taxes. I do a lot of work with small businesses to help them. I've helped them find financing. I've helped them get in contact with our insurance people to get either their health insurance or their liability insurance. I've helped with, like David was talking about, the Federal Standard Labor Act, that FSLA, and trying to explain that there are alternatives to that rule, which, by the way, in case I guess we didn't mention it, or he didn't mention it earlier, has been set aside by a Texas court.
Okay.
So the December 1st date has come and gone, but here's the kicker. Is it going to be retroactive? In other words, if the court is overturned and it becomes an act of law, will they go back to December 1st? Will you have to pay that overtime that's kind of accruing or not? Right now, that's actually the bigger question. So you can either be saving a little money on the side in case that comes against you, or you can kind of wait and see what happens with the government.
Now, Unbehagen Advisors, you said, works with small businesses up to about 30 employees that you said with tax and accounting services, correct?
Yes, and a lot of our clients have gone beyond 30, and it doesn't mean we're going to drop you. We love you. We want to help you grow to get up to 100. But we usually start with clients is from 1 to 30. Now, you say, I've got 35 people. Well, that doesn't matter. We'll still take you. If you want us, we want you, we want to work with you, we want to help you grow your business, expand your business, and be successful. And that's one of the things that we can do because we're kind of a one-stop shop on the CFO side.
All right, because you also offer insurance, investment, financial advice on top of just basic accounting services as well. So I just wanted to stress that. And people can learn more at unbehagenadvisors.com or give Chris a call at 813-892-1200, 813-892-1200. When we come back from the break, Chris has another side hustle we're going to talk about, a little talk and sing voice talent, and also a podcast.
Side hustle.
A little side. That's what you call. That's what you call when you got a little side business to your primary business.
I like it.
Again, currently talking to Chris Meyer, Director of Client Services with Unbehagen Advisors, and you're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
What's up, business rock stars? Are you ready to bring out the CEO in you? Join Julianne Nichols, CEO of Focus on You Strategy, every other Friday on That Business Show. She'll be talking with other chief entrepreneurial officers about how they grew their businesses. Remember, you could join the conversation at Focus on You Strategies Focus Fridays Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. That's facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. Be the CEO of you. Did you know the biggest challenge business leaders face today is creating an engaged and productive workforce culture? Bill Meyer Ham Consulting wants to help you solve this challenge. They will help you transform your workforce culture to produce amazing business results. Call Bill Meyer Ham Consulting at 941-201-4650 today or visit BillMeyerHam.com. That's BillMeyerHam.com. Have a conversation.
I knew Mom wanted to stay at home. It's the center of her family, her life. But helping Mom stay in her home while managing mine was just too much. Honestly, it wasn't just about me. Mom didn't want me to be her caretaker. She wanted me to be her daughter. I felt so alone until I found out about Home Instead Senior Care. When we met the people at Home Instead, we just knew they were different. The experience was personal. And most importantly, for Mom and me, I get to be her daughter again.
Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
At Vein 911, we will help you feel great again. Do you have restless legs, night leg cramps, or ankle swelling? Restless legs, cramping, swelling, and tired heavy legs are often symptoms of hidden vein disease. You do not have to have visible bulging veins to have the symptoms of vein disease. The vein care specialists at Vein 911 are uniquely qualified to evaluate and treat your veins. Are you unhappy with your previous vein treatment? Vein 911 succeeds where others fail. Call Vein 911 today at 855-VEIN-911. That's 855-834-6911 to book your free consultation. Vein 911. We will help you feel great again. If you've been following That Business Show on Facebook and Twitter, you may have noticed the quality of some of our images. That's because one of our sponsors is pro photographer Rick Taseda, a member of the Professional Photographers of America. You can view his extensive work by going to his website at ricktaseda.com or call him for an appointment to chat about your photography needs at 813-641-4757. That's 813-641-4757. Rick Taseda Visuals. Call him for your next event or project.
Savvy business owners utilize technology to connect with customers, communicate among teams, and collaborate with partners. Even with advances in technology, you all know it's not infallible. Where do you turn when your technology starts working against you? Who do you depend on to keep your team productive? Don't wait until your technology fails you. Get ahead of the crisis and contact the professionals at Alpha Computing Solutions so they can show you how to keep your technology running smoothly. Visit them online at www.alphacomputing.com.
Who doesn't have a smartphone these days? And of course, there's an app for everything. Well, almost everything. That's why the folks at Popcorn Apps started developing mobile applications. They saw people like you with genius ideas, unable to make those thoughts a reality. They develop applications for tens of thousands of dollars less than you'll find anywhere else, and will turn your idea into a reality in a matter of just a few months. Think you're not ready? Think again. They are your one-stop shop for mobile application development. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today.
Big problems in Manatee County. I-75 remains shut down in the southbound direction between State Road 70 and University Parkway. Overnight tanker crash and a fuel spill is going to have that roadway shut down still for a few more hours. Northbound 75 appears to have been reopened, but traffic very slow through that area. And, of course, dense fog around the entire Tampa Bay area, slowing traffic in all the usual spots. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uterick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Positive Coaching Alliance. If you're involved in youth or high school sports, you need to know about Positive Coaching Alliance. PCA, a national nonprofit organization, develops better athletes and better people. PCA workshops help coaches, parents, and student athletes pursue winning and life lessons through sports. Visit positivecoach.org.
Today, dense fog early, then mostly sunny with a high 81. Tonight, patchy fog, low 65. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 79.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly on 1250 WINS WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelly.
And welcome back to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. Talking with Chris Meyer, Director of Client Services with Unbehagen Advisors. And you can learn more at that website, unbehagenadvisors.com. So, Chris, you also do a little talk and sing voice talent work. Tell us a little about this side hustle, as I call it.
I'm going to steal that side hustle.
I know, I like it.
It's going to be heard all around the world. Actually, it was. I used to be a gospel singer back years and years and years ago. So if you look at my website, you'll say, "What has he been?" Or my LinkedIn, they'll say, "How long has he been doing it?" It says 41 years. Actually, I'm that old. I used to go from church to church around the Bay Area and fill gaps in choirs. I had a 4-octave range, 2 octaves above and below middle C, so I could pretty much fill the spot of 1 or 2 tenors or baritones or even an alto if they needed it. I love singing. It was my mother played the piano. She was an artist, and it was just part of my DNA. When I was going to retire from Verizon, I was watching Mrs. Doubtfire and watching Robin Williams, who I thought was the ultimate genius of
that was a great movie.
Anything. Well, you see that one little tiny segment where he's doing the voiceover work for the cartoon, and I said, I want to do that. So I decided to start a business as when I retired, and I'm just kind of doing that as my side hustle. I do sing. I've done a couple YouTube commercials out there.
Can you do a lot of different voice, characterizations?
I'll do various accents, yes. Yeah. And I've been around the world a few times, and growing up in Hawaii, which is incredibly diverse, learned a lot of different accents that I can put together. But I can also do singing and voice on the same take, which is kind of fun. And,
so how does that work? You sing and talk at the same time?
All
right, let's hear it.
Well, I can't do it because I did a jingle for Carvana, but I don't think I can do it on the air because they haven't paid for it yet. So anyway, it's to Angel in the Morning with the Shaggy accent. So kind of go for that.
Shaggy from Scooby?
No, Shaggy as in the reggae.
The reggae guy.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So
Shaba.
look at this face, listen to this voice, and imagine it doing reggae. It can happen. You have to go to my website to get it.
Oh, I was waiting for it. That's right. We can't have it now, right?
Now, your website for that is talksingvoicetalent.com, correct?
Yes.
Talksingvoicetalent.com. So
or
you're available.
Talk and Sing Voice Talent, which is the company, or Talk and Sing Productions, which is going to be doing the podcast. Now, we're currently, we have 7 podcasts in the can, and we're going to be launching those shortly, this week, as a matter of fact. The first 7 podcasts are for Unbehagen Advisors, and we'll be covering those things like the origin of the name Unbehagen, which is actually a really interesting story of Todd's ancestry. We'll be talking about who needs to incorporate and what type of company you need to be depending on what you do. We do things on the dates on what you have to do. So we've got 7 in the can right now, and they're all interesting podcasts that will be both on the unbehagenadvisors.com and will be on Talk and Sing Productions.
What will the name of that podcast be?
It's the Unbehagen Advisors podcast series.
Okay, and that's going to be available on iTunes?
Yes, it'll be on iTunes and all
as well as on the website.
All the big stuff.
And then you've got another podcast in the can that you're starting. Tell us.
It's a concept that I'm putting together, and I ask gentlemen with children, of course, and I say, what was your aha moment of when you knew you were going to be a dad? And they all gave me stories. Mine was actually kind of interesting. My aha moment was I put together the crib, and as soon as the mattress hit the bottom of the crib, it just hit me like a brick. And it was, wow, I'm going to put a baby in here.
Yeah,
I'm going to put a live human being in this crib. And so it's going to be, oh, wow, I'm going to be a dad.
Is that when the panic starts?
And it's a lot of guys, and I say a lot, is when they're born. And it doesn't hit them until they actually have the child. But this is going to be a podcast based on experiences of gentlemen. Everything's about the woman, as it should be, I guess, politically correct here.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying that.
Okay, and they're the ones who have the baby. But the dads have a story, too. And so we're going to try and just Being a Florida podcaster, a member of the Florida Podcast Association, and a member of the Messengers, we're going to try and put that message out there. What do dads' experiences of having the baby and their aha moment of becoming a dad?
You could probably provide a lot of advice for expecting fathers like today, just dealing with the pregnant woman. I know when I was married, I probably put him through hell, because you were so, emotional and mean, and you have every emotion going through you. And
I did, but you know what? You never have a mean emotion from a woman while you're massaging her feet.
Well, yeah.
Or if she's on her side and you're massaging her back, and she's very, very nice. And so I did a lot of massages, a lot of foot back massages.
There are ways to make your wife nicer.
There's other good information out there from experts like Jeff Foxworthy, who says that, when it comes to a diaper that says 6 pounds, that's all it's going to hold.
One of my favorite comedians, by the way, who got famous with the "You might be a redneck if" line. Something so simple made him a brand name in comedy. So podcasting, we talk about that a lot on this program. Tell us about, how easy it is to launch a podcast.
Well, when you first start about, you say, "Oh, I got to learn this, I got to learn that, I've got to learn everything about podcasting." My aha moment with podcasting was actually getting into the editing and that kind of stuff, and I said, "Wow, I can do the voice stuff, I can write scripts, I can write jingles, I can do all of the content, but really, why am I doing all this other extraneous work that I can hire somebody else to do it?" So my best advice is find somebody like Neil Gaiardi, who's also the editor of The Messengers, who does my editing for Unbehagen, and hire other people to help you get those other things done so that you can pull the trigger and get it working.
Well, and that has to do with whether it's accounting and tell me the name.
Trigger. That's
Uppenhagen? Is that how you say it?
Unbehagen.
Unbehagen. Every time I try to think I'm going to say it, I think I'll butcher it. Obviously, that's German.
It is Unbehagen.
It's remarkably easy, though, to get a podcast up and running. And as a matter of fact, we got an event this Thursday called Driving Traffic via Podcasting, which is a TBBO event. And if you'd like to attend it, it's at the station from 1 to 4:45. Again, the station at 4002 West Scandi Boulevard. Send me a message if you would like to attend, jamie@tampabayradio.com. So, Chris, good discussion this morning. Greatly appreciate what you're doing for the community.
Congratulations. On everything.
In your business and also in the podcasting environment as well. So, Chris, good discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
And again, Chris Meyer, Director of Client Services, also a voice and talent and singing specialist. Learn more at that website, talksingvoicetalent.com, and also more about Unbehagen at unbehagenadvisors.com. You've been listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
The preceding was a commercial program paid